Yahoo Finance is breaking down the top business books we read in 2019. One that I read twice was Can't Hurt Me, Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds. An inspiring story written by retired Navy SEAL Dave Dobbins. He joins us now from Las Vegas. David, good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
David, one of the main themes, at least in our world of stocks and investing, is this fear of complacency. Stocks have only gone up the past year. What's your message to investors to avoid that complacency? I read the book, like I mentioned, twice, and that's that constant theme of fighting off complacency and persevering.
Well, the one thing I do is I try to win the war in the morning. And a lot of times when you get complacent in life, what it is because you don't have different goals set every day of your life. We get to a point in our life where we become we've arrived. We have this arrived mentality. And when you have this arrived mentality, there's actually a finish line in your life. And when you have a finish line in your life, once you get to that finish line in your life, you're done. I don't have a finish line. I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. And we're not done until we're dead. So I just have this constantly pursuing and assaulting and attacking life mentality. And that comes with always having goals in front of you.
David, a lot of people wouldn't know it looking at you now, but you used to be 300 pounds. You were in a dead-end job. You were on welfare. You pulled yourself out of all of that. You now work with some S&P 500 Fortune companies out there, the CEOs of those companies. What is your message to them if they read your book? What do you hope the takeaway is for them?
Well, the big thing is I hope that they realize that no matter where you come from in life, no matter if you come from a poor childhood, if you're black, if you're white, if you're gray, all these different things going on in life, that you don't allow so the most powerful weapon in the world is our minds. And the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it, and then pretty soon you act upon that. And I am trying hard to change the dialogue in their minds. A lot of times our minds like to control what we say and what we do and how we live, our insecurities, our jealousies, our self-doubts. I'm trying to change the narrative in everybody's mind and say, look, you own your mind doesn't own you.
David, when you're talking to these executives, you ever just tell them, toughen up? When they're complaining about uncertainty, at the end of the day, these are some of the highest paid people in the world.
Well, at the end of the day, that is the message. You try and go through all these different things I have, like callous your mind, armor your mind, the cookie jar, the 1 second decision. I have all these things I've invented and designed to strengthen your mind, to make it an indestructible toolbox is what I give them. And a lot of them still like to whine and complain. So at the end of the day, it's really about you have to just toughen up, suck it up, and you have to be your best self on your worst days, those days you don't want to get up, those days you don't want to perform. You have to be your best self on your worst days.
You have something called an accountability mirror, and you say look at it every day. What is that?
Right. So basically, when I was 17 years old, I had a 4th grade reading level, and the story goes on and on and on. But my mom got a letter from school. She was working 3 jobs, and I was constantly hiding from everything. And my mom never saw a report card. I always got it from the mail, always hid it. So this particular day, I didn't get home in time. She got this letter in the mail saying your son's missed like 30% of school. He has a D- average. He's not going to graduate. And she was frustrated. She had a hard life, and she was just trying to make ends meet. She got the letter, read it to me, put it on my bed, and I went in the bathroom, and I looked at myself in the mirror. And when I looked at myself in the mirror, I was one of the few black kids at an all-white school. The KKK marched in the 4th of July parade in 1995. It was just a bad place for me to be in. So I was inventing characters. And I got called the N-word an awful lot growing up. So I said, maybe if I act a little different, act like a clown, it would distract from my color. So in the mirror, I saw this guy that had the old man haircut. We all know what the old man haircut is. Basically, I shaved the top of my head, and I had hair on the side. I had my pants down to my ankles. I was just doing clown show stuff. And I looked in this mirror, and I was like, oh, my God, what are you doing with your life? And my mom had a whole bunch of sticky notes and Post-it notes, and I started writing down things that, I had to start doing to change my life. and I put them up there on this wall or on the mirror. So every day I would come into the mirror, I would look at it, and I would handle one thing at a time. And that was my accountability mirror. So I could change myself because no one was coming to help me out.
Then we're going to leave it there. Great advice, sound advice. David Goggin, thanks so much for being with us.